Are you raising your hand?
Yeah. In my cup, it made a hurricane.
Yeah, if you take a fork or a spoon or something and you were to twirl it around really fast, you could. So I'll show you, for those of you at home, if I have a straw, I take my straw and I make it go really, really, really fast like this. Watch mine. Once it separates.
Look, a hurricane in the cup. Cool. There's so much bubbles.
There are, because it's still going around in circles. Now I put more food coloring, so it's kind of hard to see the hurricane from your guys' point of view, but you could do that. So I'm gonna wait for it to separate. Now our next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking our salt. And this is when you have to keep your eyes ready. So I'm gonna show you what you need to make sure that you are doing. Don't pour your salt yet. I'm gonna share my screen with you again, okay? So we did step 1. We did step 2, we added our food coloring. Okay, we're gonna move on to step 3, we added our oil. We observed. Now what happened to the oil? Who can remind me what happened to the oil? When it went into the water, what happened to the oil, Phoenix?
What happened is just like push, like it dropped it down, it just like staying on the top.
The oil stayed on the top. Good. Okay, here's our next step. Thank you, Phoenix. Okay. Step 4, we are going to add salt. Does everybody see that? To our water, and we are going to observe what's happening to the mixture. So you have to be ready to observe. Have your observation eyes on, so you have to be looking very closely. Are you ready? Now the salt, I'm going to eyeball as well. The more salt I put in, the more reaction we're going to see happen, okay? Are you ready? Go ahead and start pouring salt in.
Got too much, I know. Trying to put it in. Is that enough? I just keep thinking now.
Do you see what's happening to mine?
That's enough.
Keep adding salt, see what happens.
Adding. Okay, I'll keep adding.
Wow, look at Abby's. Hold yours up if you have stuff happening to yours. I'm gonna add a little bit more water to mine.
Definitely keeping this. Oh. No way.
But what's happening?
Wow. What about that salt on the bottom?
What's happening? Who can tell me what's happening to theirs as they were adding stuff? What was happening, Axel? I'm gonna unmute you. What was happening?
Now the salt actually mix it up together, and the next step it turned into kind of like lava. See?
Oh, so it kind of, so what was happening to the salt?
So first kind of like most of it have dissolved on the very top of my jar.
Ah, it dissolved. Did anybody else have anything happen, Cedra?
It's making it like a lava lamp.
The little pieces are coming up to the top. Isaiah, what are you seeing with yours? I think you're on mute. Can you unmute?
Well, when I poured mine in, it started, so if there's like enough, it would make a ball and it would sink to the bottom.
Right? So the salt sank, right?
And now bubbles are coming up.
Yeah. So is the salt the most dense object in our containers right now?
Yeah.
I think it is, right? Because look at my salt. Is my
salt
yeah. Yeah. My salt is all right there at the bottom. Abby, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. What's up? What did you see?
It stopped making bubbles.
Why do you think it stopped?
I don't know.
Does anybody have an idea? What if we start adding more salt? Do you think it's going to continue? So why don't we add a little bit more salt now? If yours has stopped, add a little bit more salt and see what happens. Does it continue afterwards? It does continue, huh? So why do you guys think that the salt stopped and why did it start again? Why do you think it started again when we added more? How come it started again? Axel?
No, because the salt sunk to the bottom and some of it now broke up into little pieces.
So I'm going to say the salt sank to the bottom, right? And
Yeah.
what happened to the salt, Axel?
Next up, it dissolved.
And it started good. And it
Yeah, kind of
started.
little pieces, kind of like my jar. See?
Yeah, good. So it started to dissolve. Very good. Are you guys ready for our next step? Here's an experiment. Now, I said to your parents if they wanted, they could have this, but I want you to think about what if I added another material instead of salt? What if I added sugar? Raise a hand. What do you think is going to happen if I add sugar instead of salt? Would it be different? What do you think? What do you think, Preston?
I predict it would be different.
What will it do?
When I poured my salt in, it started like falling to the bottom and blowing bubbles up from the bottom. So I think when we put sugar in, I think it would, like, the sugar would stay at the bottom because sugar's a little bit bigger than salt.
Oh, so you think sugar is going to be a little bit more dense?
Yeah.
Okay, I predict it will be different because sugar will stay, you said stay at the bottom?
Yeah. But no, stay at the top. Because I feel like sugar is a little more dense.
So if you think it's more dense, remember density is weight. Do you think it's going to actually sink or float? If it's
Actually,
more dense, it's going to do what?
float. I mean sink.
Yeah, so because sugar will stay at the top or bottom, should we say bottom?
Yeah.
Because it is
Just like,
more
because it's dense.
dense, okay? Do you guys think, who can tell me, do you think that the sugar will dissolve, Cedra? Will it dissolve like the salt did?
Yes.
So the sugar will dissolve like the salt? Do you think it's going to dissolve fast?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have something else to add, Cedra?
No.
Okay. Anybody else? Let's see, Abby?
I've been mixing away over here, and then all my salt disappeared.
It all dissolved, right? It all went away. All right, are you guys ready? So what we're gonna do is we're going to watch as I add sugar to my mixture. Are you ready? Unless you have sugar available at your house right now, I'm going to do it so that you can see. I redid mine, so it's fresh, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna leave it just like this. I'm not gonna put food coloring in so you can see what happens. Are you ready? Unless you have sugar by you, but I have some sugar here. So I'm gonna take my sugar and I'm going to lump it in. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna hold it close so you can see. Here we go. Is anything happening? I'm gonna do one more scoop of sugar. Watch what happens. Watch for a couple more seconds. Watch what happens. See if anything's going on. Okay, I'm gonna put it down. Who can tell me what happened? Did anything happen? Hadisa, I'm gonna unmute you. What happened when I added sugar, Hadisa?
It's just like a lava lamp.
Yeah,
Like
so
all of the sugar is going up and it's coming down.
is it doing the same thing as the salt, or is it doing it a little bit faster or slower?
Probably slow and fast.
Let's see. I'm gonna hold up this. So remember my sugar. I'm gonna do my salt one more time. Look, Hadisa, watch it and see if it does the same thing.
It does the same thing.
It does the same thing. Is the salt faster or is the sugar faster?
Salt.
The salt is faster, right? But they do the same thing. So I wonder what other materials could we put inside of here to see if they do anything? What else could we put inside? Does anybody have an idea? Anything else we could try to put inside to see if it makes a lava lamp? We had sugar, we had salt. What else? What other types of materials could we put inside? What do you think? Abby, what do you think?
What about brown sugar?
Okay, let me grab some. Okay, so I have some brown sugar. So you want me to add brown sugar?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens when I add brown sugar. So brown sugar is just what we talk about. It's brown sugar, okay? You guys ready? Everybody can see? Thumbs up if you can see mine. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it and see what happens. Does it do anything? Is anything happening to the brown sugar? Who can tell me, is anything happening to the brown sugar that I put inside? Oops, my computer got a little wet. Huria, I'm gonna unmute you. Go ahead, Huria. Was anything happening to the brown sugar?
It makes bubbles, but the bubbles don't have color.
Yeah, right. And it's doing it kind of slow. So sugar and brown sugar went really slow, but they still released some of the bubbles, right? But the salt was definitely the fastest, correct? Okay, Preston?
The brown sugar didn't do anything. It just sank.
The brown sugar did sink really fast, and it's kind of hard, but it is releasing bubbles. Do you see that, Preston? But
yeah.
very, very, very slowly. It's doing it very slowly, super slow. So now I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen so we can finish up because I have something to share with you. So with the sugar, we saw what exactly happened. Who can tell me so I can put this in? Did sugar do the same thing as the salt? Cedra says yes. Elvira, did sugar do the same thing as the salt? Yeah. So what can we say, Elvira? Sugar did the same thing as salt, but what? Slower or faster, Elvira?
Slower.
Slower, but slower. I'm gonna put that in all caps. So the salt and sugar, what did they do? They ended up doing what? Who can help? When they reached the bottom, what did they do? What is that called? It did, who can help me? Cameron?
When it reached the bottom, it looked kind of like it bumped up and it spread it out.
Mm-hmm. It dissolved, right? What we were seeing and what we're still seeing, if you're still seeing bubbles, we're seeing the salt dissolve. We're actually seeing that happen. So the salt and the sugar dissolved in the water and oil. Okay, that was Cam and Elvira. Are you ready to hear the secret? of why this happened? Okay, so information and conclusion. Oil does weigh less than water, so it floats. The salt weighs the most, so it sinks. But the salt, when poured into the water and oil, takes oil to the bottom. So the salt, when we pour it in, actually grabs onto some of the oil and it takes it to the bottom. And what happens is the salt dissolves, and then when it dissolves, the oil goes back up to the top. So that's what we were doing. I'm gonna stop sharing so that you can see. So what we were doing, when salt and any kind of material reach the bottom, it has oil on it. That's why we're seeing the oil go back up to the top. Those are the little dots. So if I were to pour more of my salt in, salt is grasping the oil and it's bringing the oil back up top to the top of the oil because it can't mix, right? We know the oil is the less dense out of everything, so it has to go back up to the top. So that's why every time I pour salt in, it's gonna just bring the oil when it dissolves back up to the top of my container. The more and more you add, the more it's going to dissolve and it's just gonna bring the oil back up. See my oil coming back up? Does anybody have a question or anything that maybe we could put inside? What do you think is gonna happen if I put pepper inside? Could I try to put pepper, Sahai? What do you think?
What about the pepper?
Pepper?
No, it's not about the pepper.
Oh, what is it about? Go ahead.
I was taking off my charger and my lava lamp dropped.
Oh no, do you need to clean it?
Yeah, my mom is cleaning.
Oh, you, okay, I'm sorry. Should I add, oh, it's right there. It's pretty easy to make, huh? I'm gonna add some pepper. Let's see what happens if, do you think pepper is gonna do the same thing? What do you guys think? Thumbs up if you think pepper is gonna go to the bottom. Thumbs down if you think it's gonna go somewhere else, like to the top. Let's see. So I have some pepper. Are you guys ready? Here we go. If you want to watch it. You ready? Is anything happening? Roxy, what's happening?
It's
Whoa. What's happening, Roxy?
It's dripping
It's
down
dripping, but is it dripping fast or slow?
slow.
Hadisa, did you have something to add?
Yes,
Go
It's-
ahead.
going slowly down in the bottom. It's making a weird shape.
And look, if I move it, watch. Is anything happening?
It stays there and some of it goes up.
Right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's just like jelly.
It's kind of the same, but very different at the same time, huh? Axel?
Oh, fella. That was so who was it kind of like this? This kind of salt that we get from Trader Joe's, but except this kind of now pepper that we get from Trader Joe's, but except it's only sitting on top.
Yeah, so most of the pepper sits on top. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys, I don't wanna, it's sitting right here, but if I hold it for a while, watch that big clump is coming down. See that
All
huge
of my
clump?
pepper sits on top, but except all of the pepper is just sitting on top.
Yeah. So some will be different, but if you have pepper that is ground up, it's gonna all clump down. And remember, the pepper's taking the oil with it. So it's gonna stay at the bottom, but then it will slowly dissolve. If I sat here and watched it all day long, it's gonna slowly dissolve and go back up to the top. See, watch this bubble here. Whoop. Back up to the top it goes. So you can try to add other things that you have at home, but we just added brown sugar, pepper, sugar, salt to see all the different kinds of things, huh? It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna take you guys right here. So that was pretty cool, huh? Talking about the liquids and the different things. It's really easy to do, so you could kind of teach people if you wanted to at home, like your mom, dad, brother, sister, do the experiment with them and talk to them about how the material, whatever we pour in, takes the oil to the bottom and then it will bring it back up to the top. Now, what I want to show you though, remember how we were talking about Legos in the beginning? I'm going to get something similar to a Lego and see if what it does when I put it in the water. Okay, so I have 3 different things here. I have a clip, okay? I have a googly eye, and I have a battery. So I'm gonna put all those things inside. What do you think is gonna happen when I put the clip inside? Who can tell me? What do you think is gonna happen when I put the clip inside? Anybody wanna tell what they think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen, Roxy?
It's just gonna go down, sink.
Okay, you think it's gonna sink?
Yeah.
What do you think, Cameron?
I think it's gonna slowly sink.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other ideas? Sahai, what do you think?
It's gonna sink.
Sink. All right, let's see. Are you ready? I have my material here with all my pepper and stuff at the bottom. Here it goes. Is it sinking? Nope. Mm-mm. Did it sink? No. What do you think about my googly eye? What's my googly eye gonna do when I put it inside? Phoenix?
It's gonna float.
You think float? Anybody agree with Phoenix? You think it's gonna float? Does anybody disagree? You think it's gonna sink? Let's see. It is straight on the surface. Let me see if I can show you. It's right there. Do you see it? It's not sinking at all. So the clothespin's in the middle, a little bit down below, but the googly eye is on the top. Now, what do you think about my battery? Who can tell me what do you think is gonna happen when I put my battery inside? What do you think, Cedra?
It's gonna go down really fast.
You think it's gonna go down like to the bottom, like the salt and stuff did? Okay, let's see. You ready? Ooh, my clothespin's kind of going. Here we go. It kind of got on me because it dropped so fast. Did it go to the bottom? Yeah. Look at that. Pretty crazy, huh? What do you think would happen if I put Frank inside? Would he float or would he sink? Who thinks they know? What would happen to him? What would happen, Cameron?
He would swim.
He might swim, but he doesn't like swimming. He would probably want to be out of it, but he would definitely probably float. And so would we, because we are actually less dense inside of water and other materials than like a battery or something like that. It's crazy, huh? You could definitely experiment for the rest of the day. You could come up with other things that you could put inside if you want to dump your container out and try it again with different things at home. You could try putting cereal in. You could try putting rice, like pieces of rice in, and see what happens into oil and water. You could try different liquids too. What if I pour some milk? Should I try to pour some milk in? Let's see what happens with milk. All right. So I'm gonna pour some milk in. Where do you think the milk is gonna go? Do you think it's gonna go on top of the oil, or is it gonna go in between the oil and the water? Where do you think, Phoenix?
I think it's gonna stay at the top.
Top. Anybody else have a different idea? Where do you think the milk's gonna go? Cedra, what do you think?
And in between,
In between. Preston, what do you think?
I think it's gonna expand.
Expand? Like mix kind of with the water?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Are you ready? I'm gonna turn it back this way because it's hard to pour the milk and show you at the same time. All right. You ready? Here we go. What happened to the milk? Did it mix with something? Did it stay in its own area? Roxy, what happened to it?
it mixed with the water.
It mixed with the water, huh? Crazy. Now, why do you think, Roxy, why do you think it mixed with the water? Tricky, huh? Water and milk are kind of similar.
Maybe it's, wait, never mind.
That's okay, I'll let you think. Abby, why do you think it mixed?
Well, this is not why it mixed. And the oil is still on the top.
Because the oil is the least dense, right? It weighs the least out of all the materials that we have inside there. The oil is the least between water, milk, and the oil, right? Huria?
We could we put rice inside?
You could put rice inside, yeah. I could grab some rice. Mine's kind of hard to see now that I put milk inside, but I could grab some rice and see what happens.
I don't really have.
You could take some rice and put that inside and see what happens. I'm gonna put it and see. You ready? My rice is sinking, but you can't really tell because mine's really dirty inside. But you could try to put rice inside, yeah. Cedra?
I think the water and the milk mix because the milk is a liquid.
The milk's a liquid too, huh? And so the rice is kind of considered a solid, right? The rice isn't a liquid, so when I put it inside, it's not really doing anything. It's just staying at the top and then kind of floating down, kind of like the other materials that we put inside, huh? Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so you guys can continue to do this at home if you want to today as a project or kind of show other people how to do it. But I want to tell you that today is our last day meeting for a week. Does anybody know why we're not going to meet next week? How come we're not meeting next week? Abby?
Spring break.
Yeah, so next week you don't have any school work to do, okay? You could still do iReady and stuff like that. Cameron's like, yes. But we're not meeting next week, okay? However, there was a call that might have went out to your parents today telling them that the school year is going to be done online for the rest of the year. So that means that we are going to be meeting like this and learning from computers and stuff like that until June. Not anything in person, okay? And I'll talk to moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas a little bit more about that before spring break is over, okay? I'll be sending messages out, but it's gonna be set up in the same way that we've been doing stuff. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting a day, okay? And then I'm also going to have Mondays, we're gonna have 2 Zoom meetings a day. So that means that we're gonna be seeing each other still a lot, but just through video, okay? Until they allow us to meet in person, all right? we're going to be meeting like this. But once they allow us to meet in person, I'm really hoping that we can get together and have like a little bit of a pizza lunch together and just all hang out, or go like our end of the year bowling. We can work on setting up a time where we can all go bowling together and stuff like that. Okay, we're not gonna ask any questions about it because I just found out today and I don't know anything. So hands down for questions about that. Because I just found out. Nope. Hands down until we're done. So I want you to make sure, not right now. I want you guys to make sure that next week you do not have to do any work. So make sure you tell your parents, and I also, if they're on Dojo, make sure they check, because I'm going to be saying a reminder that you guys don't have to do any work next week. Take a break, okay? Because all of you guys have been working very hard. So you guys are going to take a nice break, all right? And enjoy yourself until that Monday the 13th, okay?